everyone. Welcome back to another Bridge the Gap podcast episode. I'm Lauren.
I'm Scott.
And today we're kind of just, I think, shooting the shit, really. We don't have a set agenda.
Well, we don't.
There's a lot that's been going on recently in the world, so.
Yeah. For us Gen Xers, life is a little bit different this week than it was last week. If you pay attention to anything going on. So, yeah, I mean, we don't have a specific topic, so we can meander a little bit, I think the first thing is when somebody asks you what I was drinking when I'm in my podcast, it is diet sweet tea. So in case you're wondering, is not whiskey or bourbon. That would be ridiculous.
Yes. Someone texted me and was like, hey, just curious, what is your dad drinking? Because it looks like straight whiskey. And I laughed aloud and I was like, no, it's tea. Like, he's not that crazy.
Yeah, no, those days are behind me to drink during the day like that. That's crazy. Even though I just shared about the fireball, that was at night. So I guess I am still being truthful.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has a drink, but yeah, the whiskey during the day would have been insane.
Yeah, I do have a full-time job. I can't be drinking during the week. I got stuff to do. So yeah, so that was one thing. What else? What else is happening? Oh, I got stopped out front of our house and was given a huge compliment from one of our neighbors. So thank you. He was just super pumped about the podcast. He has a younger daughter. He actually has twins, a son and a daughter. And he just loved the fact that we're doing this and the fact that a father and a daughter can talk and stay connected and share things and be together is something that he was very, very happy about. He says he looks forward to it every week. I told him to.
And that's why we do it.
That's exactly right. I was like, well, share, spread the word. Once again, thank you to those of you that have reached out and thanked us for doing it. It's what we're trying to do is make an impact and be entertaining and show that a 20 to 21-year-old daughter and a 50-year-old dad can have a relationship. It's not just this abyss of
miscommunication.
Yeah, exactly. And we definitely don't agree. Like, we're not going to agree today if we start talking about icons, but that's okay. We'll
the first thing we should talk about is Ryan's license plate getting stolen out of our driveway.
Yeah, that was awesome. So, so my son and my daughter park in the driveway because we only have a 2-car garage, and even if we had a 3-car garage, we wouldn't fit all the 4 cars in there. So, never had an issue. And my son during the summer was working for the school district. So he drives to work on Tuesday morning. His buddy pulls in behind him and is like, hey man, where's your license plate? So he texts me saying, someone took my license plate. So I was like, what are you talking about? So we have a camera that looks in our driveway, couldn't see it. But that Monday night, you had gone out for a drive, but you used your mom's car because you and your brother were parked tandem in the driveway, with your brother being at the tail end of the driveway closest to the street, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then you saw it when you pulled in because you had to kind of maneuver his truck and the grass into the driveway. So you saw it because
when I pulled back in the driveway on Monday around 10:45 p.m., it was most definitely there.
Crazy.
So to keep the long story relatively short.
Well, I can take it. So I called the police and spoke to an officer and told them what happened. And then once I talked to you, I talked to the officer again because we could confirm that it was there Monday night because, frankly, I don't pay attention over the weekend, whether it's on there or not. And
right.
And so fast forward to Wednesday, he created a report, blah, blah, blah. It would be ready by Thursday. Wednesday morning, we get a call from the detective saying that here in our town, they have cameras that read plates as you exit the town limits, the city limits. And so his license plate flagged on a black Dodge Dakota truck, and he has a gray Toyota Tacoma. So the detective called and got some additional information from us. And so, fast forward to Thursday, we pick up the report, go into Friday. My son and I go to the DMV, get him a new plate. And it was Saturday afternoon,
Yep.
we got a knock at the door from the Fort Mill Police Department, that's our town, saying that, do we own a black Dodge Dakota truck? I was like, nope, we don't. And we had the police report, obviously, so we handed it to him and explained it to him. And turns out that the person that stole the plate and put it on that Dodge Dakota truck in a neighboring town committed some crime, burglary, larceny, and it was reported by the business. I don't think I'm allowed to state the business I don't think so. But it's a business that we go to for dog food. It's not a pet store, in case anybody was trying to solve that riddle. But whoever stole it did it for the purposes of committing crime and not having their plate or whatever they have be identified. So, lesson to everybody is make sure that if your plate gets stolen, you contact the police immediately. And to combat this issue for the foreseeable future, we got tamper-resistant license plate screws. So they're not just regular old Phillips head or straight edge screws that screw in. There's a nut on the back, et cetera, et cetera. So, that was a good time since our last time we got on this little podcasty thing.
Yeah, that was so crazy when I came downstairs and the first thing you said to me that morning too, it was like 10 o'clock. I had slept in, like I was coming down, enjoying my morning, ready to make coffee. And Dad goes, Ryan's license plate was stolen. And I was like, what? Right. What are we talking about right now? But that was crazy. That was an update that we definitely wanted to include. So everybody, and it's just a sign of our town changing.
So sad.
I mean, I can't think of anything that would cause that back before everyone started moving here. No. But now with everyone and their mother moving here for some reason, this stuff is happening.
Yeah.
And more reports I've seen like on Facebook when I'm scrolling is like a gas station in Fort Mill had a robbery. And I'm like, what are we talking about? Yeah. That is Rock Hill behavior. And sorry if you're in Rock Hill.
Whoa, those are fighting words to those folks down there.
Hey, it's a playful rivalry between Rock Hill and Fort Mill. We all know.
Well, maybe.
Kind of. But that is not Fort Mill behavior.
No.
I will say that for sure.
Yeah, in fact, when we moved here 18 plus years ago, there was a murder at a gas station in town, and it was like the first one in like 25 years or something like that. Yeah. And then we didn't have another one until just a few years ago. So it was literally like another, I don't know, 12, 15 years. And then your mom read a story last night that there was one up by Carowinds at a Motel 6 over the weekend. So yeah, it's unfortunate. We had this little quiet, suburb of Charlotte town that was pretty safe. It still is really, really safe. Let's be honest.
It is really safe. But I've never felt unsafe in our town for sure.
Yeah, but now so many people have relocated down into here. And that's a good thing. It's a bad thing. Growth is inevitable. I can say all the cliches, but there's a price to pay with popularity and population increases, right? Is not everybody is the right people that you want moving in, and that's just the way it is. Thankfully we did all the right things. They have some suspect that they're following or looking for, so it is what it is. I'll be honest, I was more pissed that they stole his license plate frame because it was a Manchester United license plate frame, and those are hard to find. They're not on Amazon. So we found it, had it shipped here. It was nice too. It was like a heavy one. It wasn't some piece of shit plastic crappy one. I was more pissed about that. Why would you take that? Just throw it in the bed of the truck if you're going to steal the plate. Like, what are you going to do with it? But anyway, yeah, that was a good time. Other than that, it's been hot as balls here.
Hotter than hell.
Oh my God. So
It's funny. I was talking with Ryan about this when we were in the Publix parking lot the other day. It's like we've grown up here. We're not unfamiliar with southern heat, but every single year it feels like we've never had a summer before. It's like every single year I'm like, I hate it here. I need to leave. This sucks. I don't want to go outside. I'm mad at everybody. Like I hate, and I am an avid summer hater. And you and mom know this because I talk about it all the time. I hate summer. It is my least favorite. I'm miserable the whole time. It's too hot to do anything. I, I just hate it. I hate it.
yeah, I don't know why. I mean, it's not
Boring.
that
It's boring.
it's not boring.
Boring.
It's so I looked at a post on Facebook from Brad Panovich. He's our local NBC News affiliate for weather, and we just follow him. I don't. He's good, and he put out the we set record yesterday and the day before, and they were, I don't know, 110-year records, and then
Yeah.
he listed like the top 20 or whatever, and he mentions 2007, which is when we moved here, and how unbearably
Yeah.
hot the July and August were that summer, and we were on a watering freeze. So we bought our first house and moved in on your birthday in September, and they had just laid the sod in August, and then they told us we couldn't water. So I watered. I was like, I'm not going to let the grass die. And I had to pay a fine because the fire department was driving through neighborhoods seeing if people were watering. So I had to pay like a $50 fine back in '07. But it's been friggin' hot, and I know it's hot everywhere. I've seen the reports, but so hopefully everybody is doing all right and staying safe, and you have places to go to stay cool. Um,
I will still die on the hill though when, and hopefully no one gets offended by this term, but I'm a southern girl, I'm gonna say it. When Yankees are like, it gets hot up north too. I'm like, okay, yeah, but you're not swimming through the air while it's also 97 degrees outside. Okay? Like, let's be real here. I understand it's
it
hot.
gets hot
It
up
gets
there.
hot
Yeah,
everywhere. It's part of the climate. However,
southern heat, southern heat.
your humidity is not the same. I promise you. I
Southern
promise.
heat's no joke. No joke.
I was talking at work one time with a woman who was on business in Colombia from California, and she was like, when I looked at the weather, like it was like in the 90s, but I'm used to that because I live in Southern California. And she goes, what I did not account for is the humidity. She goes, how the hell do y'all live through this? And I was like, you know what? I don't know, because I know the heat you're talking about, and I explained, our life story with family in California. I was like, 92 degrees in California, Southern California at least, is easy for us. Like it's like, yeah, it's hot, but like it's at least dry and there's a breeze because the ocean's right there. Here it's 92, feels like 99 with no breeze.
Yeah, it's that. I think the biggest thing, because I grew up in Southern California, and most people have moved away from the ocean because it's just too damn expensive. So they all moved up to the valley,
Yeah.
Temecula Valley, and Riverside, and Murrieta, all those areas, which is what 50, 80 miles east of the ocean. Don't quote me on it, but it's not close. And we were there in 2018 visiting family, and it was 118 degrees in Murrieta at your grandparents' house, my parents' house. And I took a picture of it in the car, and I said, I don't care where you're from. 118 dry is hot as hell. It's
Yeah.
hot as hell. I don't care. Dry heat, wet heat, it doesn't matter. Once it hits certain levels, it's just hot, And when it hits 100 degrees here and it feels like 109 with the humidity, it's hot as hell. When it's 118 degrees in the freaking Southern California desert,
Desert.
with 0% humidity, it's hot as hell. I don't care who you are, where you are, it's hot. I think the biggest thing that if people aren't from here, the difference is like in California, it cools down at night. Like I was talking to my mom, she said it was, I don't know, upper 80s, low 90s maybe. But at night it cools down into the 50s. So you have that
Yeah.
reprieve even in the summertime. Here it goes from 100 down to 80, and the humidity goes
Yeah.
from 50 to 80 at night. You know what I mean? So it gets pretty stifling. So anyway, hopefully everybody's doing okay. It's been pretty freaking hot. By the end of the week, though, we're back into the 80s. So we'll take that.
Thank God.
Yeah. Well,
Ready.
you're ready.
Oh, another big event. Ozzy Osbourne's dead.
Man, I'm freaking crushed.
I
I'm
it
crushed.
actually yeah, it hurts my soul just because you guys have raised me to have such an appreciation for music that like it hits me not as hard, but it still hits me pretty hard to have an icon like that and a pioneer in the music industry just gone. And it's one of those things where we all knew he was going. I mean, the fact he lived this long is a miracle, and thanks to his wife for keeping him alive, honestly. But
I'm sure there were a few
um
other people. He had a really good assistants that followed him around on the road to keep him
yeah,
from doing
100%.
bad
But
stuff. But yeah.
it's so sweet. I did see an interview with him where he was talking about, he was like, I think I'd be dead if I didn't have Sharon. I was like, stop it.
Oh, for sure.
Everyone stop.
Oh, for
I'm so
sure.
sad right now.
Yeah.
No one talk to me.
I mean, I'll tell you, like, I'm 50, so I've seen a lot of rock stars and actors and just icons, right? Years to use your word, die, right? Like, I remember when Kurt Cobain died, right? Like, I know where I was. I remember when Jerry Garcia from the Grateful Dead died. I was working
Yeah.
at a home improvement store, and an older associate, she literally was bawling in the aisleway because that's how much the Grateful Dead and Jerry Garcia meant to her. Yeah, Ozzy, holy shit. Like, you gotta be
Yeah.
kidding me. But like you said, the guy's been, I mean, he's 76. My dad didn't live to be 76, so the fact that he lived that long with the lifestyle that
Yeah.
he had was unbelievable. Um, I was at a store, and they were talking about it the day of, maybe the day after. They were talking about him, and they're like, 76, so young. And I was like, yeah, but he lived 150 years worth of life. Like, if we could
Yeah.
all be so fortunate, not financially and fame and all that stuff. That's not, I mean, obviously that's nice, but the guy lived life on his terms, like no
Hmm.
apologies. And most people in this world don't get to live that way. I don't,
Yeah.
I don't get to live the way I want to, right? Just
Yeah.
unapologetic, just do whatever the hell I want. And he did. And he was freaking super talented. And, I met him one time when I worked at the House of Blues in Hollywood, California. Super nice. I mean, it was quick, right? Like nothing
Yeah.
major. But everybody that talks about him just talks about how great he was and how nice he was. And, I know there's a lot of stories about the Osbournes malicious business end of it, and a lot of that came from Sharon, if not all of it. Like Jakey Lee, who was a guitar player after Randy Rhoads died, and then Brad Gillis from Night Ranger filled in for the rest of that tour, and then Jakey Lee came on board and did Bark at the Moon and Ultimate Sin albums. And there was some bad blood and tension between writing credits between Jakey Lee and I think ultimately Sharon. I don't think it was Ozzy. But the thing that crushed me was Jakey Lee was at the Back to the Beginning concert, which, essentially was like
Yeah.
that was like his funeral while he was still
It
alive, right? Like,
was.
or
It was weird.
yeah. But Jakey Lee was there, didn't play with Ozzy, but played with like an all-star band. And he shared on his Facebook page or whatever, his socials, the text that Ozzy sent to him afterwards and said that, basically he missed him. And when he gets back to California, they want to hook up, even though I think even in the text it said, I think I heard you live in Las Vegas, but one way or another, thanks for coming. So it just goes to show
Mm.
you that he was just such a good dude. And listen, he had a billion faults, right? I mean, the guy was nuts.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
watching him at the gym today. I was watching the Live and Loud concert from 1991 when I was doing my cardio, and it's in between, I think, I Don't Want to Change the World and Desire, which were two songs off of the No More Tears album. And he was like, he's yelling at the crowd, "You're not crazy, I'm fucking crazy. You're not fucking crazy, I'm fucking crazy. So you better get fucking crazy." Like, he was so crazy. I mean, he really was,
Yeah.
like he was just, but
Crazy. I was crazy once.
right. He was just such a huge influence. And I've been a metalhead my entire life. I love all music as an adult, and I grew into it, moving to LA and working at the House of Blues, I gained a much better appreciation of all types of music, whether it was gospel, religious, rock.
Religious is
I know
gospel.
religious rock because there were some of those bands that came in and played. And then we had the
Yeah.
Sunday gospel brunch, which was more traditional, right? And then, I mean, we had everybody. I saw everybody. I saw Les Paul's 50th anniversary party there, and I saw all sorts. Home Improvement, that show from the '90s, had their rap party there with a bunch of stars, and so a bunch of different types of music I was enlightened to. But growing up, I was a metalhead through and through, and
Yeah. Well, it's funny because not to the same extent, obviously, and but I think you'll understand for my generation, the first big star that we've lost musically is Liam Payne from One Direction. That was that was life altering. That's my I remember where I was moment where I was sitting on my couch having a full conversation with my roommate, and then the notification popped up on my phone and it was like Liam Payne found dead. I was like I was like, no, like I screamed. I immediately started crying. I called Hayden because we grew up together with One Direction, and I called her. We were both bawling our eyes out, and I didn't recover from that for like days. Like that was my first big heartbreak, and my entire generation of girls felt that. I mean, everybody, because when we were kids, One Direction was the in sync of our time. Like that was the boy band. Like everybody loved One Direction. Everybody had a favorite member, had a favorite song. Like it was felt everywhere, and it was brutal, absolutely brutal.
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, listen, you and I don't agree on this part. However, I can relate to you in the sense of the impact, right? And that's what music
Yeah.
does. And I think I said in our first episode, besides my family, music and sports, that's, I mean, specifically United are like my favorite things in the world. A great story about Ozzy though is, he put out an album called Tribute, which was a live concert album. He'd released it in '87, and it was during the tour with Randy Rhoads. So Randy Rhoads died on tour in a tragic plane accident. Plane clipped the bus and killed the pilot, and Randy Rhoads was there just joyriding. And so, if you know music, Randy Rhoads was incredible. He was unbelievable guitar player,
Yeah.
and I think Ozzy to his dying day said that besides Sharon, Randy Rhoads saved his life, because after he was kicked out of Black Sabbath and succumbed to all the bad behaviors and depression and substance abuse and stuff, Sharon helped, and then luckily for him, Randy came and played on those first few albums after he kind of reignited himself. But he put out an album in '87, and I'll never forget. So if you have the album, at the very end of the album is a song called D, and it's an acoustic outtakes that Randy's playing in the studio. So I in my little tiny room when in the house that I grew up in, I had it's old school days where the speakers were like 3.5, 4 feet tall, and I had a single disc CD player. So I first got the tape, but then I got a CD player when they became a lot more affordable in the late '80s, and I was playing that song pretty loud, like I was listening to the whole album, and then it got to the song D, which is, like I said, it's his Randy's studio outtakes. Well, my dad played acoustic guitar when he was younger, and so my dad heard it and came in, and he was like, "That's some of the most beautiful guitar work I've ever heard in my life." And if my dad was the most anti '80s rock metal guy ever, like he hated that shit, hated it.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show you how good the people that mattered to me growing up, whether it was music or sports, how revolutionary they were, how global reaching they were, how, you said it at the beginning, pioneer. I mean, Ozzy and Black Sabbath created heavy metal, and I'll fight anybody that says that that's not true, because that's crazy. If you don't think that's true, you're nuts. Even metal musicians say that. But they were more than just metal musicians. They were more than just the nationalism that I lived with, right, in the 80s, where they thought they were all devil worshippers, and your grandmother took all my tapes away in the 80s because it was on the Good Morning America that Motley Crue Shout at the Devil was devil worshiping, or Ozzy was a devil worshiper.
Literally the exact opposite. Right. Like, you're shouting at the devil. Right. It's literally saying, like, we don't support that.
Right. And then Iron Maiden in 1982 released Number of the Beast, and so it was just everywhere. But they were super, super talented, and they revolutionized music forever. And so having him go was super sad. We'll come back to the musical disagreement, because I know you shared that, and once again, it's the impact. But New Direction or One Direction or whatever the hell their name was, they didn't revolutionize that genre of music. They didn't create it, and Ozzy did. So it just or helped with, right?
Well, no one is on the icon level status like Ozzy Osbourne was. People who didn't even listen to metal liked Ozzy Osbourne. So it's like we can't even bring him into the conversation if we're going to talk about the impact of idols, because then obviously everyone loses to Ozzy, right? Like, everybody.
For the most part. It's pretty close, yeah.
Yeah, I think the only person that really got close on that level for a different genre would be Michael Jackson.
Yeah, oh yeah. He was insane.
Because he was huge.
Yeah, he still is.
I love Michael Jackson still to this day. Like, if I'm in a rut of what I want to listen to, I'm putting on Michael Jackson.
Well, you can put on that hat you used to wear too when you worshipped him when you were like 9 or 10, whatever it was.
I will know the words to the song.
Yeah. Yeah, you were old school with that. It was like your mom and I, when we were growing up, you'd buy the album or the tape. And the tape was brutal. That was a young person's game if they printed the lyrics inside, because the lyrics were tiny. I mean, I couldn't read them now, and I still have decent eyesight. You sit in your room for hours just reading the lyrics, listening to the tape over and over and over. So you did do that, which was pretty cool. Considering.
Well, that's like, I do that with every artist if I really like them or their song. I mean, on my wall right there is the Fine Line from Harry Styles' album lyrics. And when I first got the album on vinyl, I played it over and over, day in, day out, and I read those lyrics pasted on my wall until I learned every single lyric, and they're still up there.
Yeah. So I'd be remiss being a kid of the 80s. Yeah, I'm even wearing my shirt on the back. It says Raised on Reagan, which, if you want to make that political, then we can talk about that. But it's because I was raised in the 80s and he was president for almost the entire decade, right? But but man, we took a hit, us 80s kid Gen Xers, last week. I mean, I'll get to the big ones, but I'll start with Chuck Mangione, although that's not Gen X really, but our parents, your grandparents loved Chuck Mangione. Your papa, my dad, loved him. Your grandmother,
he played it in the house all the time.
I
remember it being played in the house.
Yeah. Mom, your mom's mom, she used to listen to Chuck Mangione with your mom and her sister while they made dinner together in the apartment when it was just the three of them. So huge loss. Chuck Mangione, huge. Hulk Hogan, are you freaking kidding me? Like, oh my God. Like, I don't think people realize, unless you're a big WWE, is that what it is now? WWE?
I guess.
WCW. There's a couple. That's what I mean. But the WWF, which was what it was in the 80s, was gigantic when Hulk Hogan came out and Andre the Giant. And I mean, then Rocky 3 came out with Mr. T, and Hulk Hogan. They were both in it. Like, I remember waiting to watch WrestleMania and watch Hulk Hogan wrestle when I was a kid. I was at Matt Mole's house, God rest his soul. He passed away in his 20s. But one of my best friends as a kid, And we watched Hulk Hogan. Like, it was like, holy crap, he was so larger than life, and just goes back to an icon. I mean, an icon. There will never be another wrestler like Hulk Hogan. I mean, he was universally known throughout the world.
Yeah.
You could put a picture of him up anywhere in the world and they'll be like, that's Hulk Hogan. They knew. I mean, he was just huge, huge. And I didn't grow up like a big wrestler. I didn't go to wrestling events and stuff, but that's just the impact he had. And I remember watching him and so sad that he's gone. And then Malcolm Jamal Warner, are you freaking kidding me? Like, the Cosby Show, and listen, say what you want about Cosby. Obviously, there's all the evidence in the world to hit on, but the Cosby Show was a big deal in the 80s, and to those of us, I mean, we watched it as a family. Like, my dad, my mom, my sister, and I, we would watch the Cosby Show, and Malcolm Jamal Warner was so good as the only brother, right? In a house of three sisters and him. He just played it great. And when he died, and he's young and drowned, which is just terrible, with his daughter, and just the impact that he had, like, just the reflection back to watching that show and seeing the highlights, like when Lisa Bonet's character tries to make him a designer shirt from scratch because he couldn't afford to buy a new one. That episode, man, to this day, I'm smiling because it was so damn funny. So yeah, we took a huge, huge hit, man. It was a rough week for us Gen Xers. And, that's where, maybe next week you and I can talk about the differences between icons and the impact, because we don't agree. But listen, I remember my dad once saying, when you get older, you're not going to be up with all the new stuff. And I was like, I am too. I'm totally going to be up with it. And I'm not even close.
And you're not.
I'm not. Not even close. But
we can tease it a little bit, though. So my dad and I were talking last night a little bit about icons, and he goes, well, you guys don't even have somebody like that. You Gen Xers don't have anybody. I said, yes, we do too.
Gen Xers?
And he goes, okay, who?
You're Gen Zer, dude, not Gen Xer.
Gen Zers, whatever. And I was like, yes, we do too. And he goes, okay, who? And I was like, well, for one, Taylor frickin' Swift.
Okay.
First of all.
So.
Nope. I'm not finished, sir.
Gonna help you.
I'm not finished.
Okay, go.
No, because you're gonna disagree and you're wrong.
That's not true. I'm not gonna completely disagree.
My eyes twitching. Harry Styles, which this is where we really disagreed, where he was like, he's not known worldwide like that. Yes, he is. And anybody who follows Harry Styles knows it was all over TikTok during his Love on Tour.
Mm-hmm.
That one video in Glasgow where people were lining, up the hills, just thousands and thousands and thousands of people after there was already thousands and thousands of people in the stadium. And I was telling him, I'm like, he is worldwide. We have plenty of artists that are worldwide, and they are icon status because they can get around easier. The social media helps elevate our icons. So we have a lot of icons. You're just not aware of them because you're not up to date on Gen Z icons.
All right. So just since this is a preface, we're going to table that. I will say the people that you mentioned are iconic currently, but they're not icons because they haven't earned it yet, is my opinion. They haven't earned it. Listen, there's no way you can. When I think of icons, I'm talking about the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Ozzy, Iron Maiden, Metallica, people that revolutionized a musical movement. Taylor Swift, I'll give it to you, even though she's not the first female artist to write her own songs and produce them and have stadium tours. Madonna did it in the 80s.
That's not what I'm saying.
Nobody did what some of the people that I'm saying did before them. So, Jesus. And Harry Styles, okay, whatever. I don't know. We'll talk about that next week, but that's a little teaser for next week. So I know those of you that are watching this right now are like, ooh, next week is going to be on. Yeah, it probably will. It'll probably be on. So we said in the first one, we don't agree on everything, and we're both pretty headstrong. But we're going to bring the goods, man.
Oh, I'm doing my research.
Oh, I'm
gonna
sure you
prove
will.
wrong.
That's
I'm gonna
fine.
prove you wrong.
It's fine.
I am ready to
Judas
defend
Priest.
my artists.
I forgot to put Judas Priest.
Okay,
in
but
there.
that's the thing. They
Michael Jackson.
The icons of my
Madonna.
day. Stop it! Stop it! The icons of my day have revolutionized the industry in their own way, and I will have those ready for you next week because I'm coming guns out and blazing.
Cool.
This is where we talked about we need to have respect for each other's generations. I've had a lot of respect for yours.
I do.
It's your turn.
I have respect for it. I do. I'm good.
I'm gonna make you have it next week. I'm writing and dying by my current artist.
That's fine. That's fine. Listen, my artists still sell out stadiums, biggest tour of in the world. We can talk about this.
My artists haven't been around long enough to continue to do so. Plus, there's an entire new subgenre that I'm going to talk about that I'm going to floor you on. Jeez. I'm so ready.
That's such a Gen Z thing, a subgenre. Jesus. Used to just be rock and roll and metal, and then y'all came along and had to subgenre everything.
Oh, we're so arguing next week.
In fact, awesome.
It'll be good.
It will be
because then by the time the episode comes out, I'll be.
You won't be there yet.
Oh no, that's this Thursday.
Yeah, no, good try.
I was gonna say I was gonna be out of town and like having fun with my friends, but no, that's this week's.
No. But anyway,
it's fine. I'll just social distance from you for my own good.
That's fine. That's fine. So anyway, big week. We've had theft in our own driveway. We've had growth of the neighborhood. We've had icons pass away. It was a rough week last week, but we're onwards and upwards. And those of you that are in my generation, I hope you handled last week okay. I'll be honest, man, there was a couple times where I started getting teary just thinking about Ozzy being gone. And I'm usually not that way, but it's sad. It's sad that these, your mom and I were talking about it. It's so weird to be at an age where our heroes are passing away. It's just like, oh man, Well,
I remember when Bowie died because I was really starting to get into that genre of music. And and I remember finding out with Mom, we were in the car actually at Wilson's, which is where we get our plants. And we found out and we both started crying. We found out over the radio. It was like sad.
Yeah, it is. And not everybody's going to relate to it because I know people that don't even really listen to music. So they're going to be like, God, really?
Insane.
Which for us, that's crazy because
insane.
We can't go anywhere without listening to music. It's in the car. When we're out back, it's on. In the house, we're always listening to music. So
in the shower.
Yeah, last night. Good God, your radio was on. Radio. See there, that shows my age. Your music was on really loud last night. Like holy shit.
I was listening to the Cats musical.
Yeah, it was loud as balls. It's ridiculous. But anyway,
it was a
rough week.
It was a crazy week. More low key episode, just kind of recapping everything. But things that needed to be touched on anyway. We've hit our 41-minute mark, so this is about time where we.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, this week wasn't like a specific topic. Like last week was talking about, technology and accountability, and we talked about COVID, but we also are going to free flow. When you have a week as big as last week where it's freaking all that shit is happening, of course we're going to talk about that. Like, I mean, come on. I mean, if we were big enough, we'd have guest people coming in and interviewing them about them, you know what I mean? And maybe someday we'll get there, but if there's something that's going on that's bigger than what you and I have planned, we're going to talk about it. And last week was one of those weeks where there's just so many unfortunate events. And listen, I get it. There's unfortunate events happening every day if you want to get into political and social issues. We're not getting into that stuff yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. I'm sure we will someday. But in the world of culture and pop culture, when you have icons like those that we mentioned pass away all in 1 week, we'd be stupid not to talk about it. So hopefully you guys found this
Right.
enjoyable. Hopefully you laughed with us, and hopefully you're geared up to hear us argue about what icons are next week. Because we do disagree on this. There's no doubt about it.
We're going, and it'll be balls to the walls.
Yeah.
You guys are about to say two type A people go absolutely insane over what they're passionate about. So it'll be a
good one.
It'll be an interesting episode. Dad and I won't talk to each other after we're done filming it. Like,
that's not true. That's not true. We get over that shit pretty quickly, so we'll be good.
Relatively.
Yeah, well, I always win because I'm the dad, but that's okay.
Whatever, dude. All right, we're closing out. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode. Obviously, our socials, again, will be in the captions and everywhere you can find us. So keep tuning in. We appreciate it. And we will see you for Battle of the Music next week.
Yeah. And thank you to everybody. We have tons of stories. I know I shared one, but you have a friend who came home from something and her roommates were watching our podcast, and they're 19, 20. So, we have tons of great stories. So thank you guys for all the support. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, get your friends, your family, your coworkers, have them tune in. They might enjoy it because the feedback has been overwhelmingly positive. So thank you guys all for that.
Yes.
And we'll battle it out next week. You guys will see some drama. We can't always be vanilla. We gotta be confrontational too. All right.
And if there's one thing we're good at, it's being confrontational. But with that,
I don't know about that. We don't shy away from it. We're not good at it. We're not a bunch of wusses that hide. We confront it. I don't know.
Yeah, and then we can go into those stories another time too. But that's Gen Z for like, yes, you got it. Yes, period. You're hitting it. Yes.
So like Joey from Friends that was like, I don't know what these mean.
I don't know
what this means.
All right, everybody. We'll leave y'all alone now.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.